Well, good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Tom Montgomery here on September 20th, 2021. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, 7:59 a.m. Central, minute or so before 8 o'clock. We spend a few minutes each morning, each weekday, covering success stories, tactics, strategies, updates, and supporting you. Today's training is let's turn the clock back and just get down to the basics. We've had so many new white label partners come aboard, which we're excited about. We thought it would be a good use of our time this morning to go back, refresh a little bit, but go through the onboarding process. So let's go ahead and do that now. You should be seeing my screen and it's split. So we have the agenda on the left that we're going to go through. And on the right, we're on the IIMFL website, the white label page. The reason that we have this displayed is that almost all the resources and information that you would need to decide if you want to become a white label partner and the tools and resources once you are one are on this page. So I'll be referring to it as we go through the agenda. So again, regardless if you're brand new, if you're one of the many that just came aboard this weekend, so you're a brand new white label partner, welcome aboard. Or if you've been with us for a while, we're glad you are. But let's go ahead and go through some of the basics in a checklist format to make sure that we're all getting off to a good start and going to have success together. So if you're not a white label partner and you want to become one, which there's no requirement, then it's right here on the white label page. So iimfl.org/white label in red. Click here. So many of you have figured that out and you're already white label partners, so that's fine. The value proposition of becoming a white label partner is stated here on the page. We don't charge anything to enroll as a white label partner. I guess I'll work off the agenda here. But keep in mind, there are promises that we make to you and promises that you make to us when you become a white label partner. So with that being, the most important one is we're not looking for dabblers. Dabblers are people that'll try anything that's free, and they typically do very little of anything to help themselves or help others. We don't want dabblers as white label partners. And so that's why those of you that have enrolled as a white label partner said, yep, I'm committed to it. I will enroll at least 2 clients per week, 8 per month, to remain active, to remain in good standing. And so with that, you need to be cognizant that while there's not a cost to enroll, there are commitments that we make to you and you make to us. Now, a white label partner does 3 things, right? They're going to help clients improve financial literacy, which is a big deal. And there's a whole tab on financial literacy that you'll see on the website. We have curriculum for young people, adults, and small businesses. As I was preparing for today's discussion over the weekend, I was trying to find the right words to convey to you how important this is, because there's a lot of people that don't know what you and I know, and they're not making educated decisions. They often don't know what they don't know, and they're struggling. You and I have the ability to help anyone raise at least $100,000. That's a life-changing experience for most people. But it comes through this 3-part approach: building financial literacy. No, you don't have to teach all this curriculum. I didn't mean to confuse you there. We have specific curriculum that we teach within the white label program, and it's broken into 4 modules that you'll see. Modules 1, Module 2, Module 3, Module 4. Each has a white label YouTube. We have participant guides and instructor guides. So the first of the 3 things that we do as white label partners is build financial literacy. The second is we help build a loan package, and you learn more about that when you go through the training modules that are embedded here on this page. But ultimately what you're doing is helping the clients populate their Dropbox, which we provide with the documents that they have. And then ultimately, of course, what we do as white label partners is help small businesses access capital. It's all three of those that's important. Now, I realize that a lot of people will be drawn to you because of wanting to access capital, but we can only accomplish that if we build a loan package, and we can only manage their expectations properly if we build financial literacy. So those three things are invaluable that we do. As a white label partner, you're able to control the client's pricing. So in other words, do you want them to have a deposit or not? How much do you want the deposit to be? Do you want the deposit to be refundable or non-refundable? Those are all within your control. You control the client terms. You determine if you want to allow clients to just quit the program at any time, or if you want to hold them accountable for the agreement that they have with you. You control that as a white label partners. I think you'll enjoy that. You control the client processes, and you can earn a great income. Now, how much income do you earn? It's really based upon you, right? Because you control the client pricing. If you do the normal, then clients will pay a refundable deposit after their first round of capital, not up front, no upfront cost for the client. For access to capital, normally you would collect $2,500 after they've had their first round of funding. Well, there's $2,500 that goes into your account. You also control the performance fee. It's up to you. The normal range that we see is from 6% to 20%. 10% is the norm. Again, it's up to you. But let's say that you just did the 10%, client raised $100,000. Now they're paying you $10,000. Right? So it's not get rich quick. It's nothing crazy like that, but it's certainly an adult income. So that's the value proposition of becoming a white label partner. Getting into the onboarding process. So we've tried to park pretty much everything on this page, and you notice there's a number of YouTube videos, and these are the specific past trainings that we believe are the most impactful. And so we encourage you, if you're going to be a white label partner, take the time and go through this training. It's available on demand. You need to certainly know how to submit a white label client. We have a new white label partner that came aboard over the weekend, and sure enough, he's already submitted clients the wrong way. How do you submit clients as a white label partner? There's only one way. It's right here. If you submit a client any other place, any other way, it's not a white label submission, and you won't be paid as a white label partner. So the training references that. And then, of course, I'm showing you this now. It's super simple to submit them in. Now, should you just go in and start dumping clients into this or prospects into this? Of course not, because what you're telling us is that these clients are ready to be set up and implemented. So what happens before you submit a client? You need to have an agreement with them. And so we've provided you sample agreements that you could use. These are editable Word documents by clicking here. Access to capital is the model when we don't charge anything up front. Capital ready is when you do collect the refundable deposit up front, but these are ready and available. Do you have to have a written contract with your clients before you submit them on this form? Well, I guess technically you don't, but I think you're going to really find yourself in a hornet's nest, because what you've seen and or will see and what we've seen, people sometimes will make up their own rules and their own expectations. But if you have a written agreement that says, okay, here's what we promised to do, here's what you promised to do, then we have that guideline to follow. So that is best practice. And so do you have to use our agreements? No, you can edit these, you can disregard these if you want, but just realize as a white label partner, once you submit a client in, they're getting set up. Now it's following under our agreement with you. Because see, as a white label partner, you contract with the client. We don't contract with the client, but as a white label partner, you're contracted with us. And so when you submit them in, now we're going to treat them as a client. And so you have those responsibilities. We do want you to be familiar with the financial literacy curriculum, and I made reference to that. The most direct curriculum are these 4 modules that are, again, on the white label page. But if you want to go above and beyond, there's a whole lot more curriculum. This is award-winning curriculum. This isn't something that just someone developed over the weekend in their back bedroom. You know, this is award-winning curriculum. And so there's lots of modules available, but rather than getting too far off track, we'd like you to certainly become proficient in the 4 modules that are built into our curriculum. Now, in truth, as a white label partner, do you have to teach them these things? No. I mean, it's really up to you. You could do nothing with it. You could introduce them to it, or you could be very involved with them. But you need to be aware that it exists. And we believe that an educated client is going to be our best client. And then the last bullet here is addressing what we've recently just really reiterated through the fundability presentation and then 5 secret ways. There's no funny business going on. There's no too good to be true. How do we help small businesses? Well, we help them build financial literacy. We covered that at the top. We help them build a loan package, which is delineated there under module 4, and we help them access capital. Well, at the end of the day, if what we want to do is to borrow money, let's go back and highlight this. If our goal is to go borrow money, then we know that the 3 C's come into play, right? It's the same thing that you and I learned in school, but somehow a lot of people have forgotten it, or they were absent that day, or maybe their public school district didn't teach it the way that yours and mine did. If you want to borrow money, you have to have at least one of the 3 C's: credit, cash flow, or collateral. Now, the more of the 3 C's you have, the better. The more of the 3 C's you have, the stronger that your 3 C's are, the more money you can access, and the better terms that you'll get. So a pessimist would say, well, all these people have to have 3 C's or this won't work. Well, that's what we do, is we help them build their 3 C's. That's exactly why you and I are on this webinar right now. That's exactly why this program exists, is we help people move from where they're at to where they need to be to get 100,000 or more, right? That's the secret sauce. It's not that they sign up with you and then all of a sudden banks don't care that they've got bad credit, bad cash, bad collateral, or whatever the situation is. That's unrealistic. But instead, we work with them to get them from where they're at to where they need to be to get approvals. And credit is fluid, cash flow is fluid, collateral is fluid. So people aren't locked in to having bad C's. We can move people from having bad C's to good C's. And these top trainings really go into this in great detail. So if you've not watched those, you should. I had a white label partner that called me. It was Thursday or Friday, nice lady. And she's got a client. Client must be a friend of hers, because she's really infatuated with talking about this client, which is fine. She's like, well, what can we do to get this client funding now? Well, there's no secret. We've got to help that client become credible enough, right? If you want to borrow money, you have to have at least one of the 3 C's. So let's work together. Let's engage the client and let's improve their credibility. That's how we get access to capital, is by improving financial literacy, building a loan package, and becoming credible enough to access capital. There's no mystery to this. We've even had someone say, well, this is a scam. You can't do this. What do you mean, scam? You can't help people improve credit. You can't help people build loan packages. You can't help people build cash flow. You can't help people improve collateral. Well, no, you can do all those things. Okay, so you don't think that Bank of America loans money? Oh, no, they do. Oh, so you don't think the SBA guarantees loans? Well, no, they do that. Well, I mean, those are all the components that we're talking about here. We're not the lender. We don't loan anyone money. We don't need to loan money. What we do is improve financial literacy, help clients build loan package, and become credible enough to access capital. That's sorely needed, and very legitimate. All right, there are some other resources just to make sure that you're aware of. So when we're taking someone through the Access to Capital program, we're building out the credibility of the business. And in some case, in which credibility, we're really talking about the 3 C's and building the loan package: 3 C's, credit, cash flow, and collateral. Now, there's some people that are the business owners that are not very credible. And if that's the case, we may want to consider the Total Credit Rebuild program. Works really well. It's on totalcreditrebuild.com. We've had training on this. I can pull it up if you want, but the bottom line is there's a really good training video here, and it describes it. But what we do is we help address derogatory, help add new primary trade lines, create verifiable income, and build collateral. Now, I realize that not all clients need all these. They may be fine in all these. And so if that's the case, then we wouldn't talk to them about the TCR program. But a lot of the clients that we deal with have some credibility issues, and the TCR program is a nice turnkey package to make that happen. And with it, as you probably know, you get to set your own commissions. You can set whatever you want to earn. We've talked about that in the training, so you can watch that. But you could earn $100 or earn $1,000 or anywhere in between. It's entirely up to you. Just watch that training and you'll understand. Super simple to submit people at the bottom of the page. The cheap commercial address, which the URL is here. This is relevant because a lot of times clients will say, well, I want to get business funding. I want it under my business. Well, is your business credible? Well, I don't know. Well, part of having a credible business is having a true commercial address. Well, what does that mean? It means it's not a residential address. It means it's not a post office box. And Lord knows it's not one of these shared office addresses through WeWork or Regus or wherever, where you've got the same suite number of a bunch of other people. That's not credible. So we can provide them a cheap commercial address. And then we have the overall training, 27 mistakes. If you've not seen this is really good. It's educational to talk about what are things that small business owners should be aware of. So that kind of dovetails into financial literacy about how to become more credible. So the point here is there's some other resources that might be of value that I just wanted to make sure that you as a white label partner are aware of. All right, so as far as monetizing this in terms of you making money, it starts with a lead, right? Because if your goal is for you to get paid, you don't get paid if you don't have a sale or a conversion, and you don't have a sale/conversion if you don't have a lead. So you need leads. We've had trainings on where you can go get free leads. That's simple enough. But once you have the lead, what do you do with it? Well, we recommend, you don't have to do it this way, but we recommend that you have a landing page. The landing page is a place, and I can show you an example of a landing page here on the white label. If we go over to Access to Capital, this is an example of a landing page, and we provide these free for all of our affiliates, by the way. But a landing page is somewhere where there's just a little bit of information, not too much, and your goal is to get your prospect to just put in their name, email, and phone. That's it. Now you might say, well, how does that track what the referral source is? Well, when you develop a landing page, it tracks back to the referral source. And then once they submit this, then it's going to take them to the step 2, which is highlighted here, which will give them an opportunity to agree to the terms and conditions to enroll. So do you have to have landing pages? Absolutely not. Is having a landing page a best practice in generating a high number of conversions? Yes, because it allows people to take a little step. They put their toes in the water here by giving you their basic information. If that's all they do, well, now you can follow up with them because you know who they are. And then secondly, once they do this and hit the green button, it will give them an opportunity to enroll. And then typically what you want to do is have follow-up sequences built in where either via email or text, there's a follow-up process that the system handles for you in following up with people to prompt them to move forward. So if you need help in doing that, Scott is our Chief Marketing Officer. His email is scott@smartmoneyalliance.org, and he can help you understand how to set those up and can help you set those up. So do you have to do that? No, we're just talking about a best practice. Our top producers have landing pages, but that does not mean that you need to get a landing page. And we provide landing pages for free for our affiliates, right? You can click on careers, click the gray box to become an affiliate, and literally within a minute, the system will email you a link, and it'll look just like this, a landing page that we'll provide you for free. All right, second to the last, and then we'll get to your questions. Monthly goals. It's important to do goal setting. You know, what is it you're in this for? Is it just because you want to help people? Great. Is it because you want to earn an extra $1,000 a week, extra $1,000 a day? Whatever you're wanting to get out of it, I think you need to start with identifying that goal, and then let's build backwards what we need to do to accomplish it. So as a white label partner, again, we make promises to you, and you make promises to us when you enroll. We don't want dabblers. There's just no benefit of us spending time and energy with people that are dabblers. Well, to not be a dabbler, in other words, to be in compliance, what you agreed to do when you enrolled as a white label partner is to generate at least 8 enrollments per month, 2 per week, obviously, to remain compliant. That is so easy to do. That is not difficult. And if you're not hitting those numbers, then you need to reach out to us so we can resolve it, because there's so much need. Now, frankly, what we'd love to do is work with a team of people that have a higher goal, a higher aspiration, which is on average 1 a day, 30 a month. And so we've started to set up these different incentives, cash, trips, what have you, to reward people for doing that, because that's really what we want to do, is work with a talented group of people that are generating at least 30 conversions a month. What's a conversion? An enrollment into the white label Access to Capital program. And then just to reiterate that while we do have these trainings on a daily basis, most weekdays, we have a specific Calendly link where you can schedule a call with one of us, and we can visit individually. All right, so let me scroll back up here, reset the screen, and let's start to dig into the questions that you have. So any question's a good question on this topic matter. If you're one of our brand new white label partners from over the weekend, again, welcome aboard. If there's anything here not clear enough, then let me know. And then even if you've been around a while and you have questions, concerns, let's address those. All right, so David has the first question. So our white label partners decide what the client's pricing is. And it is up to you, David, and others, if you want to charge a deposit on the Access to Capital. I'd recommend it. How much? We'd recommend $2,500 collected after their first tranche of capital, after the first round of financing. And then you can also determine, do you want that to be refundable or not? So that agreement's with you. So if you want to refund their deposit after they've completed the program, then refund it. If you don't want to refund it, then don't refund it. It doesn't matter. You're controlling the pricing though, David, right? So let's say that you said, well, I think offering a refundable deposit sounds pretty good, but I don't really want to eat into my margins. Well, then increase your performance fee, because when is the deposit refunded according to the standard agreement templates that we've provided you here? It's after they've completed their capital raise. So if you wanted to offer the sizzle of a refundable deposit, but you don't want to absorb the offset of income, then increase your performance fee, because they're paying the performance fee before the deposit goes back to them, right? So you're in control of that. It's like when you go to a car dealership, you know, they could offer you $1,000 off the price of the car, but oh, by the way, we've already tinted the windows and we've done the wheel locks and the underbody spray, so they end up adding $3,000 to the sticker price. You control the pricing model, not us, because the client's your client. All right, so who else has questions on what we've covered or didn't cover? Because there's some of you that are white label partners and you're frankly not in compliance, right? So we want to help you. We want to figure out what's it going to take to make sure that you remain in compliance, which means that during the month of September, we want you to have enrolled at least 8 clients. If you're doing that, you're earning a good income, you're active, you're generating income. If you don't do that, you're not compliant. You've broken the promise that you made when you enrolled. And so that's not good, right? But really what we'd love to do, it's not that much more difficult. Like anything, the first dance, the first kiss, the first sale, whatever it is, the first one's the most difficult, but you'll get a hang of it. And you're like, well, shoot, if I'm going to do 2 a week, I might as well do 5 a week and qualify for these incentive trips and make twice or 2.5 times as much more money. So I realize that, as you probably do, that it only makes sense to shoot for the 1 a day, but we didn't ask you to promise to do 1 a day. That's just an incentive. That's a carrot. That's a reward if you meet that level. But what you did agree to do is to enroll at least 8 a month, 2 a week. And so we've got to make sure that you're compliant there, so you're not breaching the agreement, because that's no good for any of us. Okay, who else has questions? All right, so Timothy is one of our newer white label partners. And so Timothy, again, remember, this is the only place that you submit white label clients, not somewhere else, not over on the contact us page, over here. This is not where you're going to submit them. Nowhere else. You're going to submit them one place, Timothy, as a white label partner, and that's on this form. And what should have happened, Timothy, before you submitted them on this form? You should have an agreement with them, right? And we've provided you sample agreements, because when you're submitting them into us, you're telling us, hey, I'm ready for you all to go implement this client. And so now we're going to start implementing that client, helping them raise capital and moving forward. And so that's created expectations between you and us because you submitted someone. So again, the point's real simple. Don't submit prospects, submit clients. Well, what makes a client a client? I guess that's in your eyes, your opinion, but what we would say is you should have a written agreement with the client before you submit them. All right. Who else has questions, comments, concerns about the onboarding process, how to be successful, how to address the financial literacy? All right, Mark's got a question. We got several Marks on the team, but Mark's asking a good question. So he's got clients, and I think, Mark, you've enrolled, this Mark has enrolled 50 to 60 clients so far. So a good sampling. So what Mark's asking about is, okay, I've taken the clients through the 4 weeks, we've populated the Dropbox. What happens then? Well, great question, Mark. And that's what's addressed here at the bottom of the screen. So once we have the data set, so we can take a look at the client's mitigating circumstances, then we can put together a capital raise plan. In other words, okay, where should the money come from based upon where they're credible? And so we're looking at the credibility factors of the business and the credibility factors of the business owner. So what could happen is, once that loan package is built out, in other words, populated here, we might be ready to go immediately to funding for the next round, the next tranche, or it might be, the client's really not credible enough yet for what they're looking to do. So then we'll work with you to address those credibility factors. Well, what are credibility factors? Again, we talked about that earlier, the 3 C's. Because if we want to borrow money, the client has to have at least one of the 3 C's, either on the business side or on the personal side: credit, cash flow, collateral. And the more of the 3 C's that they have, the more access to capital they'll have and the better terms. So we can't properly assess the client until you have done your part as a white label partner, where you have gotten the documents into the Dropbox folder that we've provided. Then we can communicate with you directly and say, well, I don't know where one of my clients is status. Well, that's why we have this specific scheduling link. So Pauline, for you or for others, the scheduling link is crucial. Let's go back, because Elon's got a question that's a little bit different. So she's asking, I think, once the client submitted, what exactly happens then? What happens specifically once you as a white label partner submit the client? Well, within 24 hours, ideally, that's our goal, then we will have set up the client in our system, and then we will notify you via email using the email that we have on file for you. Now, if you're using Gmail or Yahoo or some sort of email where emails frequently get caught in filters or spam, that's on you. That's not on us. We don't recommend running a business off of a consumer grade email account. But the easy solution, I guess, is to check your filters and check your spam, because we're frequently going to be emailing you with links and attachments. Well, what does Gmail and Yahoo and those types of services hate? Attachments and links, but that's the nature of what you and I do. But let's get back to Elon's specific question. So once you submit a client, our goal is within 24 hours to get that client set up. Within that 24 hours, we're going to send you an email to let you know, hey, we get the client set up. Let's go ahead and let's get a funding proposal for them. We will send them, it's white label via Adobe, the funding app, and we will copy you on it. So you're getting a direct email to say, yep, we got the client, we've got them set up, we're moving forward, so you know it. And then secondly, you're being copied on the Adobe funding proposal packet, which we need to be able to get their first tranche of financing. What do we know that clients want? They want funding fast, right? Even though we're together, we're improving financial literacy, building a loan package. What do they really care the most about? Accessing capital. So now we're going to get them that app right away. You will be copied on it. So what do you want to do then, Elon, or the rest of you? What do you want to do once you know that they've gotten that funding app to complete? Encourage them, help them to complete it. It's painfully basic, right? It's just a small set of information so we can go get some funding proposals for them, because we want clients to get their first tranche of financing within days of coming aboard. I mean, we want them within a week to have money into their account. Well, if they dilly-dally around and don't fill out that little simple one-page app, then we're hung up on them. Now, with that, they'll get a daily reminder, so they would have to be pretty oblivious to miss that. Once they complete that, then our goal within 24 hours, one business day, is to process that app and see what funding offers they have. We will notify you as the white label partner if they've been approved for cash funding, or if we need to go with plan B, and what specifically their next steps are. So I think that's what Elon's getting to. She's wanting clarification of what happens once a client submitted. So again, once a client submitted, our goal is within one business day to get them set up. We will email you to notify they've been set up. We will email them via a white label Adobe, the funding app. We will copy you on that. They'll get daily reminders until they complete it. Once they've completed that, which is, it doesn't impact their credit, doesn't commit them to anything. It just simply allows us to get a data set to look for the first tranche of financing. And again, within 24 hours, we'll put that into our system. We have the proprietary algorithms now to try to match them up to the first round of funding. We now have about 30 lenders that we're working with, and that number is continuing. So what's a lender? Lenders are like Bank of America and Chase and Wells Fargo and alternative lenders, all these different lenders. So we're working collaboratively with this group of lenders to try to find capital for these small business clients immediately. And so then if they do get approved for cash funding based upon their 3 C's, right? Now, this is in the beginning. We'll be working on their loan package. We'll be working on building their 3 C's. But in the beginning, when they first enroll, you and I are just dealing with whatever they bring to the table, right? Because you and I haven't been babysitting them since they turned 18. So then if they get a cash funding offer, again, Elon, we're going to notify you and give you specific instructions to work with the client. So you're, as a white label partner, you'll want them to follow those instructions as soon as possible, because the sooner they get funded, the sooner they pay you the $2,500. That's a pretty good start. Most of your money doesn't come from the deposit. It should come from the performance fees, right? But at least if we can get you $2,500 once a day on average on a 30-day month, based upon our goal of one per day, that is not bad. And again, I wrestle with, I know that some of you make a lot of money, but for the average person to make an extra $2,500 a day, 30 times a month, trust me, for the average person, the average family, that's a big deal. And that's what we're trying to do here. That's what the model is. Okay, so who else has any questions before we wrap up today's white label partner onboarding discussion? We've gone through some important points. We've talked about how to get with Scott to get your landing page set up, or at least discuss it if you've not done so, how to get one-on-one assistance. We've shown you on the iimfl.org website where the white label page is. We've also showed you the full array of financial literacy. We've shown you examples of landing pages. What are we missing? What is it that we need to do today to be able to help you go take action? And that action needs to be at least 2 clients enrolled per week, 8 a month to remain compliant. But ideally, let's not stop there. Let's do 1 a day on average, 30 a month, so that way you qualify for the incentives. What else is it that I can do to assist any of you today? All right, well, I think we're set. So let's go after it. And we look forward to working with you. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.